Without objection, so ordered. Mr. McKinley, thank you for taking the time to come down, and you're recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for being here. I've got just a series of questions, more specific, right. They deal with the Spruce Mine in West Virginia. You're familiar with that?
That's not something.
Can you give me some volume, please?
Okay, sorry. That's not something within our purview. We review regulations and regulatory actions. I believe what you're pointing to isn't something that's within the domain of the Office of Information and Regulatory Affairs.
Yeah, EPA. Yeah. But this was a retroactive veto. Are you aware of that?
I have a recollection from newspaper accounts, but this isn't something within our authority. We do look at rules that have effects in this area, but what you're referring to, I don't believe is a regulatory action under Executive Order 12866.
Were you aware of this veto prior to it happening?
No.
You were not aware?
No.
Do you have any idea why the EPA came to that decision?
This is something which it would be good to engage the people who made the decision for their explanation.
Were you aware that the EPA has made this determination to do it retroactive based on some new science?
Because this wasn't regulatory action under 12866, if I'm following, this wasn't something that we saw in advance in any way.
Do you think that that's something that they should have checked with you about before they embarked on something that was so draconian to West Virginia?
Well, one thing I will say, which is that in the regulatory domain, anything that's draconian for West Virginia or anything else is of keen concern to us. But that thing had better be, under the new executive order as under the old, a regulatory action within the meaning of both documents. And so I wouldn't want to comment on the decision or the process, because my understanding is that this was not something that is subject to our review.
But you have enough awareness of it. So now I'm just the last question has more to do with: is it possible that if the regulatory bodies think that they can do this retroactively to a specific site in West Virginia, this is only in the Appalachian District, they're doing this in the mines, and they've applied it the first application has been in the mines in West Virginia. If they feel they have the jurisdiction to be able to do that, could they not also do that in other markets, like, for example, the chemical industry?
What I would say in our domain is that rulemaking is not retroactive. Actually, the Supreme Court has said that rulemaking is presumed not to be legitimately retroactive, and that under the President's new executive order, not only are rules not retroactive, but they also must be preceded by a period of public comment, so stakeholders can see it. Not only that, the agency is supposed to engage stakeholders, including those who would be adversely affected, before they even propose a rule. So that's our policy with respect to rulemaking.
Do you think that this was a violation then, if they've made this retroactive?
Well, as I say, this is not our lane or our area, so I wouldn't want to speak to it absent authority or a full account.
Do you think that if they again, the last question I had with it, if rulemaking can occur like this in a retroactive fashion, directed to the coal industry, would it not also apply to petroleum, chemical, other industries as well?
The Supreme Court said in a decision a few years ago, retroactivity is disfavored. And to answer that question, I want to know what exactly was the situation here and whether there was something unique to it that justified the action. And
from what I understand, sir, there was new science introduced but that new science was funded by the EPA. The study was funded by the EPA. I don't know whether that would, I'm an engineer. I don't know that that would necessarily, if I fund something, whether that's new science.
Well,
That's bolstering my cause.
I greatly appreciate the question, and with your indulgence, I'd want to stay away from an area that I don't have authority over and that I haven't studied. I would say that with respect to the scientific issue generally, under Section 5 of the new executive order, there is a strong emphasis on objective science and scientific integrity, and that's something in the rulemaking area, which is our domain, that we are taking exceedingly seriously.
Since you've heard of this now, are you going to look into it?
If you'd like me to, I'd be delighted.
I would love to have you look into it.
Have you put in contact with the people who have
I'd like to know more
involved.
about what the repercussions of this are.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
And thanks to you.